last tutorial, we created some buttons, and they go to the frames that we want to by using the code. But let's label these buttons now. So how can we do that? Let me get these windows out of the way. I'm just going to close these. And so let's go to the first button, and if you double click it, you will notice that you are now inside this button 1. You can go back to scene 1 and get out of there. You could also look in the library. If you double click this little icon, you'll be inside of the button and you could edit from here. So it depends on how you want to work, you personally. I'm going to go ahead and just double click right here on stage, and then you'll notice when the button was created, the computer for you, Animate for you, made these other frames. Okay, and you could also have layers inside here. Let's make a new layer right now and write some text on this. So I'm just going to say Earth. Okay, you could label this differently, put whatever title you think should have for just the land map. You could just write land map if you want, whatever you want. And so now we have, with this T tool, we could probably use different tools to resize. I'm going to hold shift and resize. You could probably use the font tool to actually just change the font size, but I just used that. We could probably go to window and look for the different, well, we could probably just used the properties window and change the font size in here, right? Paragraph, font, there's the size right there. Okay, so there we have, we wrote Earth. Now, when you get out of here, you could just double click, and now you have Earth written in there. Okay, let's go inside here, and let's write, make a new layer, and we will type continents. Okay, and let's highlight that and reduce the font size to, say, 36. Okay, and we have continents. Okay, now, so let's just take a look here at control test, and so now we have text in there, Earth and continents. Okay, I'm just going to organize this a little better, get these out of the way. But what we're obviously going to need a third button for the oceans, but the one thing I noticed when you click these, they don't highlight or anything, do they? So, but it's set up for it to highlight. You could just take one of these frames, you can copy it or paste it, or just control click and say insert keyframe. It'll basically duplicate what's in front of you. And while it's selected, you could change the color to whatever you want. So I'm going to help adjust the color this way. I'm going to actually select the color and then use this to just make it lighter, or you can make it darker, you know, whichever way you want to go. And then so when you're over it, it's like that. And then down, I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to, if you hold Option on your keyboard, if you hold Option down and you drag a frame, you could do that. You can, that's one way to duplicate a frame. And let's take the eyedropper again here, and I will do this, and let's just, I think I could have just did this too. That'll darken it, right? Okay, or go this way. Anyway, okay, and now if you notice, the words are gone. So you could, I'm gonna do a little trick here. Watch this. If I drag this over here and move it back, or I could have, I could do keyframes, and I could change the font color every single time for these. So let's just take it and just make it brighter. Okay, and then so when I go, let's go back to scene 1, and then we'll control test. You can see that the button highlights when I'm clicking it. So it gives you, you know, a little bit more feeling of interaction there. Okay, so go ahead and edit the buttons the way you want them to look, and have fun with it. And then we'll make the third buttons, and we'll put some titles on each one of these pages. Okay, have fun fixing up your buttons. Have fun.